Today, we're going to be taking a look at the most obnoxious deck that I've played with in this game yet. True Draco. So True Draco is one of the most annoying Yu-Gi-Oh decks to ever touch the premise of the game. The entirety of the deck is based around making it so your opponent cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh, which is counterintuitive to what Yu-Gi-Oh is. You're supposed to be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but basically here's the layout of the deck. We got 3 Joel and Lockbird. I'm debating between this and Max C. I have 3 copies of Max C now, I believe, too. I got my 3rd copy earlier. We can play 3 Droll or 3 Max C. I kind of like Droll because it just shuts so many plays off, but considering a lot of the deck already does that, I might just swap it out for Max C. 3 Ash, pretty necessary. 1 Majesty Maiden, the True Draco caster. I don't know their full names. Got 1 Ignis Heat. We've got 1 Dynamite. And yeah, the premise of all these Draco monsters, for those that don't play this game, is basically these can all be tribute summoned by sacrificing contiguous spells or contiguous trap cards. And a lot of these contiguous spells and trap cards have abilities that enable you to immediately tribute summon them. So you get passed around that 1 normal summon a turn limitation, which is what a tribute summon is. It's a normal summon for new players out there. And then they all have quick effects that are based off of your opponent activating things. And these cards have to be tribute summoned in order to activate their effects. Just for the record, you can't special summon them from the graveyard and then get their ability. Let's take Dynamite for example. When an opponent activates it, like a card or effect or literally anything, you can add a True Draco or True King spell or trap card or spell, or I'm talking too fast. You can add a True Draco or True King continuous trap card from your deck to your hand, or you can activate it immediately, which plays really well with a lot of the other True Draco trap cards that allow you to do shenanigans on your opponent's turn. And since all 3 of these monsters have quick effects, these can be activated on your opponent's turn as long as these cards are obviously face up on the field. Maiden adds a True Draco or True King monster. Ignis Heat adds a True Draco or True King contiguous spell. But yeah, that's the basis of the deck. They had a bunch of other cards, but they're all banned or something usually. So like we go here, True Draco. We got VFD or True King All Calamities. We got Masterpiece of True Draco. That one's irrelevant, but we got a couple other True Dracos that you just don't see people running. I never traditionally played True Draco when it first came out, so I don't know why people don't really run these 3. I'm gonna assume they're pretty useless. I don't even know what their effects do. But there's another True Draco that was banned. His name was Masterpiece. That's irrelevant to this topic though. So anyway, back to the deck profile. We got 2 Upstart Goblin. Consistency is key. I don't think I'm probably going to need to run it though anymore with all the consistency cards I've got in my deck. 1 Terraforming to search out our 1 copy of Dragonic Diagram, which is an incredible card to have in this deck, and I'll get into why in a bit. Card of Demise, it lets you draw 3, and then you just send the other whatever cards are left in your hand to the graveyard. You have to draw until you have 3 in your hand. It's a stupid spell card, man. It's at 1 in most metas, especially the TCG. But it allows you to draw until you have 3, so you do your entire hand combo, whatever you want to call it, get everything out, and you draw 3 cards, and you have more cards to work with. Pod Duality, so you can double check and see what cards on top of your deck you know what they are. You can add one to your hand. And I need to slow down when I'm making these videos, man. I'm talking so fast. Dragonic Diagram, it makes it so True King and True Draco monsters can avoid destruction once a turn each. Then they also gain 300 attack points, 300 defense points, but its main ability is you can destroy 1 card you control in your hand to search any True Draco or True King monster. This used to be at 3, but it's at 1 for a reason. You can search literally your entire deck's primary cards, which is nuts. Kaiser Coliseum. This card's broken because, say for example, you only control 1 True Draco monster. Since you only control 1 monster, that's the number of monsters your opponent can also control. They can't special summon past 1 monster. They can't summon past 1 monster. Kaiser Coliseum is broken with this deck because the deck plays heavily around just preventing your opponent from doing things and being obnoxious, and you just add on to the obnoxiousness with this card. True Draco Heritage allows you to draw cards equal to the number of True Draco or True King monsters or cards sent to the graveyard this turn, and that effect is a hard once per turn. All the effects on the spell and trap cards are hard once per turn. And then it has this basic ability that all the True Draco spell cards have. During your main phase, you can immediately tribute summon 1 True Draco or True King monster to the field, and that means you can sacrifice literally anything to do that. It's insane. The Disciples of the True Draco is our Pot of Avarice. You can target 3 True Draco or True King cards and shuffle them into your deck and then draw 1 card. And it has the exact same ability as Heritage. Now, both of these cards also have a 3rd ability. When either of them are sent to the graveyard, you can destroy 1 spell or trap card in the field, which is, you'll see the replay in a minute and see why that's kind of valuable, but it's insane how much advantage you can generate on your opponent's turn. So yeah, we got 2 copies of this. I might bump this up to 3. I don't really know. We've got 2 copies of Skill Drain. Again, the whole point of the deck is to make it so it's not fun for your opponent. And since the deck is heavily reliant on a lot of its spell and trap card abilities, negating your monster's effects once you've kind of get everything established is really irrelevant, honestly. So it doesn't really matter once you negate everything, because you can always tribute this card too if it's no longer benefiting you, because these guys contribute summon using contiguous trap cards. It's nuts. The Monarch's Erupt is just Skill Drain 2.0, basically. If you control a tribute summon monster, all effects on the field, all monster effects on the field are negated, except the tribute summon one. So it's a Skill Drain that works in your favor. It works in reverse, basically. None of your monsters are negated, but all of your opponents are. Yay. True King's Return is basically our Call of the Haunted, in a sense. It can special summon one True Draco or True King monster from your graveyard. But again, these guys don't get their quick effect ability if they're not tribute summoned. So, and then it has a similar ability to the contiguous spell cards. The True Draco trap cards share the same ability. You can tribute summon during your opponent's turn. What's good about that is, well, I'll explain to you in a second, but I'll explain that to you in a second once we go through the last trap card. True Draco Apocalypse. With this card, you contribute one True Draco or True King card and half the attacks of all your opponent's monsters. And that's a permanent effect. So both of these cards have a unique ability where you contribute something during your opponent's turn. They also have a third ability like the other ones do, where if they're sitting to the graveyard, instead of destroying spell and trap cards, they can destroy any monster your opponent controls. So say you trigger that main ability to tribute this card or tribute summon, you can sacrifice one of these cards, summon your monster, and then get a free pop, which is really damn good. You don't run an extra deck with this deck purely because of this particular trap card. You have to have no extra deck cards. You don't need an extra deck with this deck. Everything's a level 5 beater, level 6 beater. Yeah, you don't need an extra deck with this card. So that's the deck profile for anybody that doesn't understand what True Dracos do. Now let's go look at some replays instead of actually doing a real duel right now. Let's go look at some replays and check out some of the duels that I had earlier. I think I should have a few of the good ones saved. All right, so I don't remember what this person's name was. I think this might have been the first duel that I did. I don't even remember that I did with this deck when I built it. I don't even remember what this guy was playing, honestly. All right, but yeah, this is gonna be a replay. Let's see here. He was playing Tri-Brigade. So I mean, we're just gonna fast forward through this really quick. So the droll play right here basically locks my opponent out of searching any other cards from his deck to his hand unless he draws them. So he's gonna do all of his full combos and whatnot, and bunch of shenanigans. If you know how to play Tri-Brigade, I mean, you know how to play the deck. So with this hand right here, we're gonna trigger Upstart Goblin right at the gate, get a free spell in our hand. He's gonna max C us because people don't understand that this deck does not special summon at all. There's no point in using max C against this deck. We're gonna activate another copy of Heritage, and then he's gonna make it so all Mirage's ability makes it so a monster you control cannot be destroyed by battle. We're gonna tribute this off and then use its ability to destroy a face down card, and then we get a free draw. And then we're gonna chain our Dynamites and search out. I think we search out Apocalypse here. I don't think we search out True King's Return. Okay. So I mean, this is the general overall strat. We're gonna go in our battle phase and just go over this card, take it out, and then they're just gonna continue their plays. Forgive my ignorance. I'm not the best Tri-Brigade player, so I don't know really what their full combo is because I've played it so few times so far in this game. We're gonna droll him again, make it so he can't search literally anything else in his deck, and yeah, he's gonna get a special summon off. We're gonna play Skill Drain. Make it so it negates this card's effect, and he's just kind of stuck here, honestly. There's really nothing he can do. Yep, and then he surrenders. So I mean, that's the general playstyle, kinda. You just play this extremely unfun playstyle. It's just no good. It's very cheap. We'll play this next one. There's another ranked duel. I don't think this is the same guy. All right, so we're up against another player. He was playing Galaxy Eyes. Now this was at like Plat 5. I did have a string of games where I lost that ended up actually knocking me to gold for as I attempted to play with this deck, and I'll show a couple of those replays, maybe just one of them because this video's hitting past the 10-minute mark. I got out-resourced really hard in a lot of these duels, unfortunately. The duels that I did win was because I was able to just kind of cop out my opponent on with a lot of the BS mechanics that we have. I top deck really nicely here. I was able to just set that card or set those cards and then tribute summon. But where I made a mistake was I should have activated the Heritage first, because with this going to the graveyard, I could have got a free draw. I made a misplay right there. This is like one of the first games I played with this deck. So I'm still getting used to everything. He chains back C. Back C does nothing. Ignis Heat's going to allow me to add the other continuous spell from our deck to our hand. And then, yeah. True King's Return is going to pop his Harbinger. Yeah, like I said, I made a misplay right here. So we're going to sacrifice that card, draw 2 cards. And I guess it's not a terrible misplay, because this card truly doesn't have to be, I don't think this card has to be face up on the field in order to trigger its draw effect. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but that looks like the case. Because this went to the graveyard, but I still got a free draw off of it. But we use Heritage's effect to draw 2 cards, so we send 2 True Draco spell and trap cards to the graveyard this turn. Got 2 draws, and then hit them with both of these attacks. And then we draw Droll and Lockbird. I chose not to activate Card of Demise because I didn't want to lose a Droll. I figured that was going to be more beneficial. I'm going to train Droll to Galaxy Trance because this special summons from the deck, I believe. Does it add or does it special summon? Yeah, special summons from the deck, so. And then we're going to trigger the Monarch's Erupt. So all of his monsters are basically going to be completely negated, which is unfortunate. I almost lost right here because this card hit me for I believe it hit me for over 8 grand, and I truly don't understand why. I think it has to do with Aethergold Dragon. Oh yeah, this doubles the attack of all Xyz monsters you control, or all number Xyz monsters you control. So I almost lost because of that. As you can see right here, I got knocked down real low. All their effects are still negated, so that's a positive, because I think he could have beat me if this wasn't negated. So I draw another Demise, set 1, activate 1, draw 3 cards, activate Kaiser Coliseum. He can only control 1 monster technically now. And again, it doesn't affect any of the face-up monsters, so none of these have to go to the graveyard. I believe I did this on purpose. I crashed into this and got rid of my own Ignis Heat. Then I activated Disciples, and I think I just took a bit of a gamble right here, honestly. I just pray I drew something, and I drew another Ignis Heat. So, I'm able to activate Heritage, get 2 draws, activate Diagram. I use Diagram to pop, I think, I pop the other card of Demise. We get Return on the field. I activate Heritage, just tribute summon Dynamite. True King's effect activates and pops his Photon Dragon. And yeah, I'm able to chain this ability, get another search. But yeah, that's kind of how the whole thing played out. I top deck really nicely here, though, honestly. I top deck some of the best top decking I ever could have done in one instance, man. And then Apocalypse is going to have all of his monsters' attack points, and I basically made him kill itself. So, I know there was a lot of commentary for what just happened. But yeah, that's basically how that played out. And then, so that's how some of those games have gone. Not my most memorable or favorite games. Let's take a look at some of the games that I lost, though, where I just got straight up out-resourced. Let's see. Some of these were longer than others. Some of these are short. I kind of rage quit here and there. I'm not even going to lie. I played a Drytron a couple of times and I rage quit. Drytron, my problem with Drytron is all their monster effects are too long. You have to read them. And I'm too impatient to read them. I can admit. I need to learn the deck better to know how to counter it appropriately. But with no side deck, that's kind of hard to do. Now, with this version of the build, I switched it up and added this guy. This was before I got the 3rd Max C and I think a couple other cards. He basically is another Upstart Goblin. You can put him in your Pendulum Zone, destroy him, and then draw a card. And then he can also be special summoned from the extra deck for free with his own ability. It's pretty nice. Yeah, but I didn't draw really anything good. I kind of bricked here. Like, this is honestly an awful hand. This person was also playing Medolce, so we're just going to kind of fast forward through this. Because I can't give you a play-by-play on Medolce. They do a lot, man. They have a lot of abilities that require shuffling cards and summoning over other Exceed monsters, and yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot that goes on with this deck. We almost beat this guy, though. But my own ignorance of the Medolce strategy didn't help here, so popping certain things and making certain decisions or a little uncomfortable, I want to say. But as you can see, he's going into this hardcore combo that basically makes it so none of his spell and trap cards can be destroyed, and certain monsters can't be affected by other monster effects. Everything can be destroyed by battle still, though, which is pretty nice. So I'm going for this Anthrax trap card, whatever it's called. I'm going to sacrifice True King's Return and try to get rid of a few things. But again, our opening hand just kind of wasn't the best. So, but we do pretty decent, I want to say. We hold out. I might have misplayed here and there, though. What I think I messed up with was probably getting rid of Heritage. I don't really know. I attempted to play Kaiser Coliseum, but he played Typhoon and destroyed it, so. If I was able to keep this out, I could have maintained a better board. And this bounces, I believe, so. Yeah, that's gonna return a couple of cards. Kaiser Coliseum is gone. We're gonna activate Heritage to tribute summon our other Ignis Heat. And yeah, we were just kind of chalked right here from the very beginning. It wasn't really a great starting hand. I had no business having 3 true Draco monsters all on the field at once. This card allows you to shuffle cards from your graveyard into your deck also, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, we didn't have any true follow-up. We did not have a single follow-up. Luckily, I had Droll. I was able to shut this play down, make it so he couldn't search anything else, pretty much. So, I don't know if Prosperity is going to actually negate the... I don't know if that Droll negates it. Yeah, it does. So it makes it so he has to send that card to the graveyard, which is unfortunate. So, I tried my best here. We didn't have any real follow-up play. Unfortunately, we didn't have a Dynamite in hand, which sucked. And then I got Sphere moded, which blew my mind. I got Sphere moded, went for Skill Drain, and this kind of stalled us for a little bit. You're just kind of going to see how this plays out. So, all their monsters lose all their abilities, basically. And he's basically just going to attack over the rock or over the Sphere mode. You know, it's not a big deal. And then after this, I think I use Disciples to attempt to draw 3. And I think I'm able to do it, or draw 1. I think I'm able to do it. So yeah, I draw into an Upstart Goblin, just like, man. And then I draw into another Ignis Heat, which allows me to pop their spell cards because they're no longer controlling anything that prevents their spell cards from being destroyed. And where I made a mistake, I don't know why I did that. I did it, like, it was kind of a misclick. I did it and then instantaneously regretted it. I sacrificed Skill Drain. I guess I didn't get out resource here, but I just made a stupid ass play. It was the worst decision I made because once Skill Drain was gone, he was able to snowball. I didn't mean to do that. The moment I did it, I'm just like, that was the wrong thing I clicked right there. So he's basically able to combo off for free at this point. We're just gonna let him play it out. It was a terrible decision I didn't even mean to do. I could have won this game if I hadn't have sacrificed Skill Drain. Oh man, that was terrible. That was a terrible decision right there. And then yeah, we went on a bit of a losing streak. It was a mixture of frustration and misplays. So I mean, we ran into some very interesting decks. These Dragon-made decks are a lot better than I thought. They honestly caught me off guard. I think we played against a Salamangreat player that lasted about 13 turns. So we played against a Blue Eyes player, and we played against yeah, we played against a Salamangreat player. Yeah, I think we're gonna stop the video here though. We might go over some more of these replays as I continue to update this deck. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Sorry for the misplays. I'm still getting used to the deck. That Skill Drain misplay is probably my biggest misplay on Duel Links or Master Duel to this day so far. I sacrificed that Skill Drain. I'm just like, why did I just do that? What do I gain from having 3 heritages on the field? Again, it was a misclick. I'm glad I wasn't streaming. It was just a misclick, honestly. I was eager to get the turn going, and I was like, all right, I can use both of their abilities. But then I get rid of my Dynamite. It just didn't make any sense. I don't know what I was thinking, man. The only thing about the Salamangreat player, I think he was playing an extremely meta build. He drew 2 impermanences and really screwed me over for a while. This Blue Eyes player was playing a very non-optimal deck. I got knocked back into gold on one of those games, and I played this guy, and I'm like, okay. So the discrepancy between gold and platinum is kind of crazy. But that's gonna be it for this video, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like on it, sub to the channel for more gaming content, and as always, I will see you in the next one.